A long time ago, on a comics page far, far away. Greetings and welcome to May the Panel Be With You, the Star Wars comic book show brought to you by the Punch Up Entertainment Network. I am your humble host, Mike Gargoni, and joining me, as always, the Tay Vanis to my Agent Tyree, because we might be the same character, but I'm from an RPG book, it's John Campbell.
Hello, everybody. I, of course, don't know what he's referencing, but I'm sure we're all going to learn together.
We're going to get into it, because I learned some stuff today, and oh, what a tangled web we weave.
Look, we were talking about this just before we started recording. There is so much to discuss in this comic, because this is, in some ways, the epic conclusion of something we've been following for a while.
Yeah, we are covering issue number 80 of the original Marvel Star Wars comic. This book came out in February of 1983, and it is the culmination of a creative project as laid down by the scribe Mary Jo Duffy and her elusive team that we've been following this whole time. We got Ron Friends on, well, it's credited as breakdowns, but on pencils. We got Tom Palmer on inks, Joe Rosen on letters, Glennis Ween, eventually Oliver on colors. We got Louise Jones, eventually Simonson as our editor, and a shooter in the distance as our editor-in-chief. And we're here on the last issue before we can start actually doing stories that take place beyond Return of the Jedi.
This is it, man. It all comes down to this. This is the story that supposedly, conceivably, leads us to Return of the Jedi.
Sure.
So they claim.
I mean, kind of. They're not really claiming any kind of like grand read this before you see the movie kind of thing, because obviously this is coming out months after the movie was dropped.
Wait, you said February. Do you mean February of 84?
84. Sorry. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because we have been talking about these coming out after the movie, and the movie was 83. So
apologies.
No, it doesn't, but it also does. But that's a weird thing, once again, because the movie has been out for almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
By the time this is coming out, but the comic is just catching up to it. And I will say, all of a sudden, we're tossing around Bothans. We got a brand new looking lightsaber. Luke's dressed in black. I mean, it's all coming together in this issue. This one more feels like, well, we better catch up. Shit.
And again, we don't know the production schedule of this book down to a T, but the fact that we've been kind of like doggy paddling in a holding motion for the better part of a year's worth of actual issues sort of leads me to believe that this book is just,
This one really feels like, we saw Return of the Jedi and we haven't seeded any of this.
But they also sort of, and to Joe Duffy's credit, retroactively make this doggy paddling in a holding pattern into something kind of, sort of, maybe resembling a lead-in to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, well, no, that's what's so interesting about this issue is all of a sudden that it just feels like it hasn't been like, it's all been weaving together. This one is just like, we're doing it.
But retroactively making some stuff that we've been following, in theory, feel more relevant.
Well, it feels like they wrote a thing where we're looking for this information that this guy Tay Vanis has. And whatever that information will be important to Return of the Jedi. We don't know what's in Return of the Jedi yet, but when we find out, we can make that information important to it.
And so, retroactively, that's precisely what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fine.
Speaking of Tay Vanis, let's get to our cover here. Because Tay Vanis is technically on it.
He's technically on it, along with an unnamed droid with a very defined backside.
All right, so let's get into the metropolis of it all right out of the get-go, okay?
Yeah.
There is a certain type of droid as presented in Star Wars that is feminine in feature. I would say they're more commonly seen in the animated productions than in live action.
Oh, definitely.
And they are curvaceous in nature,
Oh, yeah.
and there is a subtle implication in all of that there is maybe more adult-oriented droids out there in the galaxy.
I mean, you've got to figure that exists. It's just the movies and stuff aren't going to deal with it. But
Sure,
yeah,
absolutely. And some of the, let us call them more lascivious, expanded universe stuff has dealt with those topics.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars After Dark.
The books you keep under your bed so your parents don't find them.
Johnny, what's this about the Yuzon Vong? Where did you get this?
Who gave you this smut? But I will say, yeah, the hyper-defined butt cheeks of this robot on the cover are, even by those standards, pretty wild.
Yeah, and like I said, the metropolis of it all, you can't really escape that there is...
Fritz Lang is all over this thing, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There is a curvy, womanly robot in this issue who is going to feature prominently and raise all sorts of upsetting questions for a number of reasons.
We're talking about the design of her, and that's the least confusing or potentially upsetting thing about her. Good Lord.
Yep. This is our titular character because, of course, as we know last time, this issue is called Ellie, and this is our Ellie.
Yep. Which, you've got to be, I'm sure we all were, as I was. I'm like, that's not what I expected when they said coming up next month, Ellie. What?
So we're not even past the cover here because this is the bodacious backside of our Ellie, clutching the tattered remains of some human. Can't really tell who, but just based on the cover. But looming over them both is radiating with power, the Dark Lord of the Sith himself, Darth Vader.
I'm trying to sell books here. I was going to say, I will now assume any person I don't recognize on the cover could be what they think is Wedge Antilles. Is now my new theory.
That's fair.
There's a chance.
You never know.
But yes, this thing really promises some Vader action that, he's sort of here.
Look, this cover only promises one thing, and that's Vader looming, and boy does he loom in this issue.
I will say, they do not, that is not false advertising. There is looming Vader in this comic. Is he actually there? Does he really do anything? Well, we'll have to find out. No.
See previous statements about holding patterns.
Yeah, I will say, he's more used in this than some of the things he's been on the covers of.
That's true. That's 100% true.
Yeah. There's slightly more involvement from him.
So let's get to his involvement. First off, right off the bat, we have our opening splash page. No dialogue, no intro words here. It's just Luke Skywalker around a corner, blaster in hand, waiting for a group of stormtroopers to come down the hallway.
With his redesigned lightsaber that I suppose he built at some point.
Don't worry about it, John. Return of the Jedi is about to happen. Has that lightsaber at the start of the movie, so he's got it now.
He's in the black, but he also appears to be in his Endor poncho, which makes no sense.
The Endor ponchos are featured in this issue. I got to assume that's Rebel standard.
Okay. You're just saying that's like general forest incursion, camouflage?
If we're going on we got to trek through a little bit of woodsy territory, we get you your poncho, we got you your kind of tabard, and there's a hood included, no charge, and you're good to go.
Han's like, can you find me a trench coat?
And they're like, yeah, no problem, buddy.
A camo trench coat that he wears in Jedi. Take your no prize on that, Gergoni.
Got it.
Because I was like, okay, that's I get that you guys have seen him or have seen Return of the Jedi at this point, but whatever. I do like this. This is what you want to see from Star Wars, right? Which is Luke Skywalker sneaking around while stormtroopers are marching. This
is tactical infiltration Luke, lightsaber not included.
I think I had that figured. Yeah, so they're marching. Luke's with his blaster, and What is this thing next to him?
It's a thing dangling from the ceiling. I don't know.
It just feels like they're like, I don't know, we need something to jazz this up.
It's a little bit of sci-fi business, just hanging in from the top of the frame.
Yeah, just put in some gadgetry, and we're good. Anyway, so they're marching by, and Luke's ready to kill, as always.
Right, but Luke, turns out 3PO and Leia are all holed up around this corner when, over the announcement system of wherever it is they are, they say, all stormtroopers in the East Wings.
I just like the idea of, attention all stormtroopers. Please report to B deck immediately. B dock immediately.
And of course, 3PO being 3PO almost blows their cover.
Oh, yeah.
Why is 3PO with them?
Well, we bring this up all the time. They have 3PO show up. They drag him along to missions all the time that they do not need. I mean, I know why he's in this, because we're going to need him to fall in love with a sexy robot, or at least be like, Yamahama. But I do like the one stormtrooper's like, I could have sworn I just heard a nervous British droid.
Meanwhile, Luke and Leia totally silent, sweating bullets.
I always love when they have to cover 3PO's mouth.
I find it interesting that droids can't speak if you cover their mouth hole. It's like when you put your hand over a speaker, it doesn't silence the speaker.
Right. It's an interesting idea, right? That the droids are built so that that his speaker is where a human mouth would be. I guess that makes sense in terms of if you're communicating with something human-like, that would be some level of comforting. And then, yeah, the idea that if you cover that up, it would be like covering someone's mouth. It would muffle it, but it wouldn't stop it.
And, like, his mouth doesn't move, so, like, that's not inhibiting any kind of, like, articulation of tongue or lips.
But they do it all the time.
Yeah. And maybe that's just 3PO reading in on the social cue of, shut the hell up.
Oh, why they don't just turn him off. We've seen them turn him off before.
Again, big question of why do we take 3PO with us if we're on an infiltration?
I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah, what translating needs to be done here, you know? Yeah, 3PO on covert operations? What? Yeah. Last thing we're bringing. Maybe R2, because he could get you in places. But I actually
R2 can handle the mission on his own.
Well, this is true. R2 is one of the biggest badasses in the rebellion, actually. So anyway, the Stormtrooper looks back. I actually do like the way the Stormtrooper looks back, and then like a movie, it's like, close-up Stormtrooper, close-up Luke, close-up Leia, close-up 3PO, and then we go back to the scene, and there's a guy going, come on, Stormtrooper, what? Stop dogging it!
And the Stormtrooper's like, well, sir, I thought I heard I don't know, some kind of nervous British droid with an anxiety complex.
Yeah. Do we have any anxious droids around? But I do like that this stormtrooper is more competent than most stormtroopers, but this officer is like, stop it. Stop noticing things.
How dare you? Keep moving.
And so anyway, they get past, and so Luke's like, whew, that was too close.
I will note briefly here, we got this new updated look for Luke. Leia's is weirdly like retrograde. She's in the tactical poncho, but she's got her New Hope hair buns, which I guess is just the classic default Leia look, but she doesn't have those in any other movie.
No, it's an interesting thing that people always go to that if you're parodying Star Wars or whatever, you always go to Leia with the buns on the side of her head, but it really is just even just that sequence, the opening sequence through her rescue on the Death Star, and then even still, she doesn't have it again.
Yeah,
because at the end of the movie, at the ceremony, her hair is different, and then her hair is never like that ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think but that so stuck her. And even by having her in the poncho, they've sort of just given her like a camo version of her white dress, which was flowing with a hood.
That's true. I always forget it has a hood.
Yeah. It's so she can dramatically take the hood
Of
back.
Course, yes. We know this.
That's a little gift.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
You give an actor a hood or something like that, they're going to do business with it.
Oh, you got to do hood business.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole show called The Wire. Anyway.
That was the tagline, right? The Wire. It's hood business.
So they're sneaking around this place.
yeah,
They're
chide 3PO properly. It was like, you fucking idiot.
yeah. Why did we even bring this droid?
Yeah, I don't even know why you're here. But anyway, so they're sneaking around, and Luke's like, yeah, man, this area is off limits.
Even to civilians, which implies that there are civilians allowed to be here. They're just not allowed in this particular area.
We'll come to discover, and I think actually it's literally this next panel here.
Yeah.
That they are here under the auspice of being like freighter pilots.
Yeah, freighter pilots transporting cargo to this Imperial base here, and they've offloaded their false cargo, and the Empire's refueling their ship, which we'll eventually learn is the Millennium Falcon. Again, how the Empire doesn't recognize that ship at this point.
Or these two that are the most wanted criminals in the entire galaxy.
Don't worry.
We just have to be like, sure. Yeah.
If anything, okay, I'm going to no prize why 3PO is here.
Okay.
3PO is so annoyingly distracting to anyone in near proximity that all Imperial interactions are like, oh, that fucking droid.
Oh, yes, sir. The thing about it is, yeah, just go ahead. Oh, my God. Jeez.
Yeah.
I tell you, I talked to a droid today. I almost just shot him out of sheer annoyance. Yeah. So anyway, but they talk about like the cargo's been offloaded. Like we're overstaying our welcome. People are going to start asking, "Aren't you guys? Shouldn't you guys have left by now?"
Yeah, but they're here because this is the last known location of Tay Vanis. Tay Vanis, remember him?
He's been the whole point of the book for the last 8 issues, 10 issues.
Him and another rebel pilot went missing ages ago. This goes back to issue number 74.
Okay, so yeah, like 6 issues they've been looking for this guy.
Yeah.
And because he has information that up to now we have not known what that information is.
Right, exactly. It has been very vague. But there's a line here as Luke is sort of explaining things when he says, and he was carrying tapes that spies in the Bothan system had smuggled to him. Plans for some kind of new Imperial superweapon. Hint, hint.
I'm surprised that they did not bold the word Bothan. Because it's like, nerds, remember in the movie you saw? Bothans?
Remember when Mon Mothma, that character who won't become super important until way later, will say with great sadness in her heart that many Bothans had indeed died?
Yes. Do we ever see a Bothan on screen?
No.
I was going to say, because I'm looking them up right now. And of course, there's an image of them, but it's a drawing.
Bothans are almost like physically anyway, and like as characters are exclusively the domain of extended universe novels and comic books.
That's interesting.
It is super interesting, and considering like all the time we've spent in a galaxy far, far away in like animated shows that we've never seen a Bothan in there is wild.
That's the craziest thing to me. I thought for sure they would have snuck into like an episode of Rebels or something. No, I'm looking at all their. Yeah, I'm looking at, and there's. By the way, a ton of Bothan. I'm on Wikipedia, and if you just look at the Bothan appearances and stuff, they're in 1 billion books and comics.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Especially after Return of the Jedi, you sort of have to retroactively make up, like, okay, A, how did these guys get their hands on the second Death Star plans? B, why were they so important to the rebellion? C, why was Mon Mothma upset that so many of them died? And, like, you have to backfill so much info on the Bothans to, like, make that work.
It seems the closest they've made it to a film or is a video game. They are in Star Wars Battlefront 2, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, interesting.
But even then, like, tertiary Star Wars
I mean, I wouldn't have, It's fascinating, man. But if you can, if you're so inclined, you could really read up on them.
There's a lot to read up on. What's their homeworld? Bathui?
I'm on the Wikipedia. That sounds right. Yes, Bathui, correct. And they speak Bothese.
Yes. Bothans, for those who don't know, are those titular spies from Return of the Jedi, who many of them died. But they're also weird, like, dog people. I don't know how to describe Bothans.
Yeah, they're like dogs with horse noses.
Yeah.
Big, long, no, like, yeah. They're weird looking.
Mm-hmm. Which is good. I like a good weird looking alien.
I was gonna say, I know that's weird for Star Wars that there's some weird looking aliens. Yeah, you know what I say? More Bothan representation, folks.
The fact that we didn't get a single Bothan in Andor, come on, guys.
Get some Bothans in there. Yeah, there you go. We're pro Bothan on this show.
Oh yeah, thumbs up Bothans over here.
Yeah. But the thing I love about that line in general is it's very Star Warsy, where they're like, many Bothans died to bring this to us, and the movie just is like, oh yeah, and then of course, you know, me as a kid is like, what's a Bothan? Like, that's the fun of Star Wars, right? That everybody's just like, and you're just like, wait a minute, what is that word? I better get my visual dictionary out.
So,
all right.
They're sneaking around looking for Tay Vanis. Yeah. He's got some information that is, in fact, the second Death Star plans. Womp womp.
Yeah. I mean, we were pretty sure that was what it was. It kind of had to be that, right? Or else what's the point of any of this? So they're poking around the hangar here looking.
Hold on. Here's the fun part.
Yeah.
We've already covered a thing in which Luke Skywalker himself helps recover the second Death Star plans. Do you remember what that is?
I don't.
Why, it's Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire, of course. Yeah, this comic does not stay canon for very long.
But it does.
Okay. I feel like this is like every episode of the show where I'm like, well, this never mattered again. You're like, oh, hold the phone.
But you see.
How is this still somewhat canon, Gurgani? Tell me.
The way the existence of this book was justified later, because up to a certain point before Disney takeover, everything kind of loosely was part of the extended universe.
Yeah,
canon, right?
Yeah. Canon really used to be sort of what you made it to a certain extent, and it was easy because there wasn't a lot to contradict.
Well, and there were certain like tiers of canon, right, within Star Wars.
Yeah. Right.
And so long as it wasn't like outright disregarded by an upper tier of canon, anything that was published was kind of canon.
And when they're not making movies for years and years and years, it was easy to go like, yeah, this is probably what happened after Return of the Jedi.
Right. So the way they sort of excuse this when they're later publishing Shadows of the Empire is like, okay, they worked with the Bothans to get that information, and everyone's favorite Dash Rendar helped Luke Skywalker invade the ship owned by Prince Xizor to steal those plans.
Boy, yeah.
But they needed to confirm what was there, so that's where this story comes into place.
Okay. Fair.
It's not, because at no point do they mention a second Death Star in this issue. But anyway, I just found that amusing.
Yeah, once again, they're still playing kind of fast and loose with stuff to a certain extent, right? It's all... there's a real trepidation to commit to anything too hard in this.
Sure.
In this whole comic.
So they're poking around for Tay Vanis. They are looking around a hangar bay. They know that if he was actually here, they'd see his X-Wing here, because apparently he flew a tricked out X-Wing.
I do love the idea that we would know for sure because, as we're all aware, Tay Vanis has the most recognizable of X-Wings.
Tay Vanis, who we all know and love, a character who has been with us since the beginning.
The way they talk about these characters sometimes like that, where it's just like, you know, our greatest friend. You're like, who? I don't know that guy.
They don't have any luck just looking around for him, so they have a backup plan here, which is go ask the information desk.
Okay. It is so stupid that they do this and that they do not expect what's about to happen. This I don't like because it really makes our main characters dumb.
Yeah. It also, like, the plot contrivance that is about to happen here is ridiculous.
I was just watching somebody talking about the danger of using coincidence in your writing. And holy God, is this thing a massive coincidence that swings in favor of our characters.
Right. because we come up here to the information desk of this. We don't even know where we really are. There's no name is ever given to this planet.
Some kind of Imperial outpost somewhere.
Yeah. But anyway, there is a sexy droid working the desk here.
Sexy droid, yeah. I mean, it's not even when you talk about the Metropolis of it all. They're not even obfuscate. It just is the robot from Metropolis.
Yeah, I mean, at least there's a little bit more of a non-binary thing going on here. There's no like. The hips are definitely more feminine, and like the posing is definitely more feminine, but there's no like obvious canonical boob shapes on its chest.
No, in fact, actually, it's very masculine, like pectoral muscles.
Yeah, so I appreciate that at least.
The head design and stuff, though, and the general feel of it is very Metropolis, and I'm sure somebody will know the name of that robot. I can't say that I'm super familiar with Metropolis. I mean, I've seen it because you kind of have to in like film school, but.
But anyway, this is Ellie, or LE914, as she introduces herself.
Mm-hmm.
This is the robot from the cover.
Yeah. L3 before L3?
No. We like L3. L3 made sense.
Yes, but I feel like L3 is a better version of kind of what they're doing with this character.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. No, L3 is a great character and an amazing Phoebe Waller-Bridge performance. And
so 3PO is immediately smitten.
Yeah, I was waiting for the 3PO's eyes to turn into hearts, honestly. But yeah, where he's just like, how charming. Ooh, Master Luke. I gotta say, there's a lot of modes I don't like for 3PO. Horny 3PO is one of them. Because once again, let's bring it up. Sexual attraction between droids?
Okay. I guess we just got to tear this Band-Aid off about like
it's unavoidable.
How conscious are droids? The answer in Star Wars has to be like they are sentient, right?
Yes. With all the stories we've seen now, there's no other way to view it, right? They have way too many emotions, allegiances to people. This character it's wild what she does in this.
Yeah.
You have to give them sentience, but also then that makes them a slave race.
Yes. And that is effectively always what we're dealing with droids in Star Wars. And it's always one of those like, we can't talk about this. Don't acknowledge it.
They do this thing where they have their cake and eat it too with like 3PO and stuff like that, like our hero droids, right? Or the droids of our heroes. They kind of make it like, okay, they have sentience, they are the property of like Luke Skywalker, but there's sort of this subtext of like, yeah, but they would be with him regardless. You know what I mean? Like there is sort of this attitude of like 3PO and R2 are loyal to Luke, whether he owned them or not. But also he does technically own them and they are his property.
There is paperwork stating as such.
Yeah, so it's this weird thing, but they're also like his friends, but also they work for him. Yeah. With Lando and L3, it feels a lot more like a partnership, actually. That's one of the things I do like. That does feel like she's choosing to be Lando's friend as opposed to him owning her. And her whole character raised literally, I mean, she was a like droid rights warrior.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the droid's name, but the commando droid companion you have in Star Wars Outlaws also actually like
yes.
I really like how they deal with that with the character where it's like, okay, this is a character who is slowly like learning to be friends with your main character in that game, but is also owned by a guy, and there's tension there.
Right. I mean, it's like we said, there's a reason we always try to avoid this subject because it is so thorny, and it's a very comic booky, like depends on who's writing it. Different droids are written different ways with different levels of sentience. Sure. I mean, you can get into the whole thing about the control bolts or whatever that they put on them.
The restraining bolts, yeah.
Restraining bolts, which is like, oh, okay, now wait a minute. It's a whole bag of worms, man. I don't know. But it does seem like everybody is sort of turning a blind eye to obvious slavery.
Yeah. Yep. For thousands
at the very
of years.
least. That yeah, even in my best reading of it, that's undeniable.
And to all you nerds who are screaming at me about the like whole personality matrix stuff, there has been books and stuff written about this topic in the context of Star Wars.
Of course, because it's there. It's something to
Right.
write about.
But it is the stuff that we're covering covers it with such a hand wavy, like, don't worry about it. And that's true for a lot of the comics, even going into the modern day stuff.
Because, like I said, it's sort of a thing where it's like, we'll kind of acknowledge it, but really it's going to be acknowledged based on the story we want to tell. So the level of sentience a droid has is really going to matter with what is more based on what are they going to do in the story.
Nothing typifies this more for me than 3PO's last line in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yes. I think we've read this before, but go ahead and hit us with it again, because it is disturbing.
Haunting.
Yeah.
So that special, do not recommend. It's really bad.
No, as always, anytime it comes up, I will say watch the documentary Disturbance in the Force about it, because that's the best way to experience it, through clips with context of how it was made.
Sure. And again, keep in mind, it was made before any other Star Wars. It was the second Star Wars thing ever made.
And it was made by people who made TV specials, not people who made Star Wars.
Right. But at the end of the whole special, everyone's gathered up together and celebrating Life Day, and the Wookiees are all wearing their weird robes and holding orbs, and Carrie Fisher's on so much cocaine.
Yeah. She's all hopped up. And singing, it's very weird.
It's very weird. And 3PO, apropos of nothing, says, "I'm so happy everyone is feeling joyous in this holiday season. If only I could feel these things, but I can't because I'm a machine."
So disturbing, because he obviously frequently displays emotions and stuff, but then he's saying he can't feel them, which once again goes, what kind of hellish existence is this guy living in?
But can recognize those things and know that he's not feeling them.
Know that he's not feeling them, can recognize them, and can also express them as he frequently does.
So, obviously, the canonicity of the holiday special is right out the window. But
yeah. But still, it sticks with you. It does stick with you.
What it highlights is how writers approach writing droids in Star Wars, which is, okay, they're people right up until they're not.
Yeah. And if you extrapolate that and really try to imagine this world on any level of reality, that is horrific.
Yeah. And that is a lot of what we're going to be dealing with for the rest of this issue.
Well, Ellie is really, oh man, let's just keep going. We'll get to it when we get to it, because at this point, we are under the impression that Ellie is just the robot that's working the help desk.
Right. We kind of have to work at this backwards, though, because, again, her being here makes no damn sense.
Right. Because, so she's right now appears to be an Imperial protocol droid of some sort that is running the help desk.
Right. And even Leia comments that that's strange, because usually the person who is running this desk, who is checking the incoming and outgoing cargo and making sure that ships have their clearances to leave, that would be handled by an Imperial officer. The fact that it's handled by this droid is weird.
Yeah, although it does seem like something you would put a droid on.
Sure, but would the Empire rather have a droid handle that, or have some smirky Imperial officer going, "You're not cleared to leave"?
Well, we do see a lot of those guys throughout Star Wars, of course. Yeah. So anyway, she's like, okay, well, here's all your clearance to leave. Bye. You're obviously leaving, right? There's nothing else you would need. And Luke's like, actually, just real quick, if you could run a check for this guy that we know, his name is Tay Vanis.
So when she enters that name into the Imperial database here, alarms start going off, because of course they do.
Yeah, I know. Once again, that's so stupid, Luke. But we got to talk about the 3PO, because as she's typing, he's just like, Oh, wow, an L3, an LE series droid. Damn. And then he says, I'm 3PO. C-3PO. Why does
Whoa.
he say that? I hate that. And then he goes, a translator fluent in over. It's he's just hitting on this droid.
Yes.
I want him to like, if he had hair, like I wanted to be like, time to make my move. You've never
Yeah.
seen this 3PO?
Meanwhile, R2 is somewhere being the Niles to 3PO's Frasier,
Yeah.
being like, oh, you poor sop.
Oh, yeah, way out of your league. Well, I like, and once again, Luke's like, hey, this may be going well. She had no reaction to that name, and then an alarm. It's like, yeah, of course the droid's not going to react, but the computer's going to send an alarm out. And of course, 3PO hits us with a "we're doomed," and the audience applauds.
Yeah. Hey, he said the thing.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers come flooding in. They're saying, hey, Duck, get out of here. Luke lights his lightsaber. The Stormtroopers are like, holy shit, one of them's got a lightsaber.
Which, by the way, is the correct hilt, but the wrong color.
Yeah, it's like colored white or yellow, depending on the page in this issue.
Yeah.
And this is his green lightsaber from Jedi.
Yeah. So we're still not doing the work fully. And of course, Leia is like, I'm going to start murdering everybody.
And Luke's like, not if I get there first. And whoo boy, does Luke murder some folks in the next page.
He sure does, because everybody's shooting and stuff's blasting away. And
Leia grabs the droids, ducks for cover behind the console, and Luke just starts chopping off limbs and heads.
hey, man, this comic book Luke is bloodthirsty. We've talked about this. He's a much more violent Luke than he is in the movies. Not that Luke won't kill somebody should it come to it, but this Luke seems ready to go in a way that I'm not used to.
But has this book ever shown us out-and-out dismemberment like this before?
No. I mean, that Stormtrooper's arm is off.
I actually really like this page. The background becomes totally red as Luke just starts attacking Stormtroopers. We see him cut an arm off at the shoulders. He then swings and just chops a dude's head off. Like, one panel, he is a Stormtrooper with a head. Second panel is Luke's blade passing through. That head is not there anymore.
I know. I like that they're like, okay, you can't show the actual severed head, but just the transition tells the story.
Mm-hmm.
Warps that head right off.
It's a solid warp. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ. I love it. I need more of this. And then just the last panel that's Luke with the lightsaber and just the dead, like, rictus hand of that Stormtrooper. Like, yeah.
Well, it implies that this is happening so fast that, like, the blaster that gets dropped by the guy whose arm he chops off doesn't have time to fall all the way.
Yeah. He's killed 6 guys in the time it takes that to hit the ground. Like, it is badass.
This is good comic book storytelling, too.
Yeah, and then you've got, when we go to the next panel, next page, this very cool panel of just all the blaster bolts impacting his now blue lightsaber.
Colors are hard.
I mean, I do recognize they did not have digital coloring, but still. Anyway, it's a cool image, though. I mean, like, just as a singular image, him just, like, taking, like, a bunch of blaster fire on the blade of the lightsaber.
Meanwhile, droids and Leia are taking cover behind the console when a blast is incoming and Ellie pushes 3PO out of the way to take the blast to the chest.
This is a little wild, the idea that there's enough time for him to deflect it, Leia to notice, to say this, and then for this to happen. That is the slowest deflected blaster fire.
It's one of those slow blasters, you know, the Kylo Ren slowed it down.
Because, like, she says, he deflects it. She says, look out, that bolt Luke deflected is ricocheting right toward us. 3PO then says, the console will be unprotected. Ellie, what are you? And then it hits.
Yeah, and Ellie takes this straight to the chest and is unfazed.
Yep.
The bolt seems to have zero effect on her stainless steel chassis.
Luke then proceeds to kick one stormtrooper into a bunch of them in a line so they can domino.
I mean, do you not want to see Luke Skywalker Spartan kick a series of stormtroopers?
It's pretty cool. And then Luke's just like, that takes care of them. They're all in the ground now.
Love that he chopped off the limbs of one, he chopped off the head of the other. The others he literally just took out in a single kick. Luke Skywalker is channeling some Chuck Norris vibes here.
Big time, yeah. And he's just like, well, that's the end of that platoon.
But more will be coming, of course. So we got to get out of here.
Yeah, or let's stay and I can murder more. I like it. So
hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
We'll get to the further discoveries, but I will immediately say, when we went to this next page, I'm like, wait a minute, why is this robot with them?
Yeah, because they flee this place, they head back to the Falcon, but they take Ellie with them.
Yeah, and there's even this line about like, wow, I'm glad Ellie came with us. What? And I went, wait, what?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it becomes justified as soon as she says, well, before I left, the computer did give me some coordinates about the last known location of Tay Vanis.
Yeah, but you immediately go, why is this droid helping them?
What a great question.
I mean, I know we'll get the answer, but still, and that answer's insane. But yeah, you're just like, wait, what? I was so confused immediately. And that they're just like, okay, droid.
The immediate trustworthiness here of this droid is another thing that like makes our main characters a little dumb.
Because like, yeah, as far as they're concerned, this is an Imperial droid that could be leading them right to Darth Vader.
And the last droid they tried to trust did exactly that.
Yeah. And don't they even mention that at one point?
Yes.
Yeah. Before the computer obeyed its programming to betray us, Ellie says, betray us? Are you with us?
I guess she is now. But anyway, she directs them to a castle that was once the seat of government before the Empire, and I quote here, depopulated the world.
I actually do like that. I do like the use of the word depopulate, and then them saying like, oh, is that their like fun word for genocide?
I mean, Leia on the next page has like, oh, depopulated. That's what they call it when they murder an entire world's population, like they did to Vanis's home world Telfrey, or my own planet Alderaan.
I do like they did to Vanis. You remember Vanis's backstory because he's such an important character.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, look, we were on planet Telfrey there for a hot second, so like, we did learn about this.
We can assume most of the rebels are rebels because of some sort of atrocity that befell them.
Oh, it can, yes, 100%.
Yeah. And so Luke's like, yeah, if we can find those Bothan tapes, we can stop the next Telfrey or Alderaan. And then I like 3PO's like, if you're wondering why they mentioned Alderaan, Leia is the princess of Alderaan.
Oh, it's like 3PO. We don't know this person. We don't know this droid. What are you doing?
Let me give you our entire backstory. You see, I was built by Anakin Skywalker, who became Darth Vader. Oh, wait, I don't know that because my mind was wiped. And it will happen to me time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
Although there will be very little consequence.
They are avoiding Imperial patrols, flying low, trying to get to these last known locations.
Yes.
3PO does pointedly ask, hey, Ellie, why are you blaster proof?
Yeah. Hey, real quick. Just came to mind, you work at an info desk. Why are you blaster proof?
And Ellie responds, well, before I went into service on this world, I was privately owned. My last master had me specially outfitted for high-stress situations.
What now?
You know, the kind that involve getting shot.
Yeah.
So, I guess there's very few materials we've seen that are just straight-up blaster-proof. One of them is Beskar, and it'd be wild if this was a pure Beskar droid, though.
Given that Beskar is not, very abundant at the moment.
It's also not an established thing in canon at this time, but yeah.
This is true, yeah.
I was just going about thinking, like, what could she be made of that would, like, make her impervious to blaster fire?
That's the one that would immediately come to mind that people are familiar with.
That, and she's, like, sparkly and silver, so it kind of tracked for me.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. But it opens a can of worms that they don't even know about yet.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of cans of worms, they got to open up. They're flying over the jungle, and what's that? A crashed X-Wing. Better check it out.
Coincidence.
There's so many coincidences in this issue.
Look, down there. By the way, look how far away. Leia spotted this thing?
Hey, Leia has the eyes of the hawk.
Just
Luke may
like
have the
Brave
speed of
Star.
the puma, but Leia has the eyes of the hawk.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't know what I'm referencing, look up Brave Star and thank me later.
Han's got Chewie's got the strength of the bear.
Of course.
Eyes of the hawk, speed. What's the other one? Strength of the bear.
Eyes of the hawk, speed of the puma.
Is it just 3?
I think it's just 3.
Oh, maybe it is just 3. Speed of the puma.
Puma.
I always love that because it's like it doesn't quite work. They have to kind of fudge it a little bit in the.
Yeah.
Oh, ears of the wolf is the other one.
Ears of the wolf.
I guess that's Han. If we're just divvying them out. Sure.
By their powers combined, they make a single Brave Star.
Yeah, Brave Star. Anyway, enjoy our Brave Star podcast that we actually have talked about doing for years. Someday. And so they just land there and they're like, yep, this is Tay Vanis' ship. I'd know it anywhere because it, once again, is conveniently the most recognizable X-Wing.
And thankfully, they go digging around in there. They find a tape, but not the tape we're looking for. And what's this? It's a holo recording of Tay Vanis himself.
The most generic guy-looking guy.
He's such a guy.
There's nothing particularly interesting. Leia is now in her Ripley from Alien cosplay.
And Luke has doffed his poncho and is in pure black Return of the Jedi mode.
Which, once again, is his coolest look. It's such a badass look.
Minus the glove covering his robot hand, which...
Yeah. Which I do think really completes the ensemble.
It pulls it together. It really does.
It really ties it together. And so, yeah, once again, never forget, we're still tape-based, of course, in Star Wars.
Of course.
So we throw the tape on, and he's like, hey there, I'm Tay Vanis. How you doing?
Anyway, if you're hearing this, you're a rebel, because only a rebel would have been able to get this. Otherwise, it would have blowed up.
Yeah. And so he's just like, let me tell you my whole tale.
You know how I found some tapes with the Bothans? Well, we're flying about me and Yamargo. You remember Yamargo, that other pilot that crash landed on that other planet and died?
Yeah, he's definitely dead. So
super dead. But I don't know that. So I'm hoping he's going to go rescue me because I crash landed here and I'm going to die.
Yeah, I just like the idea that he was like, so I sent him off to find help and I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Darth Vader is right behind me.
And I'm almost out of time. He goes, I'm going to go hide in the woods.
I'll flee into the woods and hope I can evade capture.
Can I say this dialogue exchange is pretty stupid because Leia goes, but Yamargo never made it back to the fleet. He was shot down in Losbane right after he left the Bothan system. And Luke's like, yeah, Vanis had no way of knowing that, Leia. Oh, you're right. Stupid woman.
How do they have time to exchange any of this dialogue before... Does Vanis just, like, pause dramatically and stare into the middle distance, allowing them time to...
Feel free to take your time to react to that. I'll get back to it in a minute. He left them time to emotionally process what he just revealed. Meanwhile, 3PO notices that Ellie seems to have disappeared.
Oh, wow. Wonder why. Anyway, Vanis is like, oh, hold on. I gave you enough time. I think I hear them coming.
Yeah.
Drums in the deep.
Don't worry. Even if the Empire gets me, they'll never recover those tapes. I don't have them with me. I left them with someone else. My droid has been with me for years. I wonder who that is. What droid could it be? I don't know. Yeah, and so the whole thing here, if there's no word from me in 2 planetary days, turn the page. LE-914 will destroy the Bothan tapes. And then, once again, because Mary Jo Duffy can't resist the sitcom, both of them together going, Ellie! Yeah. And then they go, where is she? And 3PO's like, that's what I was trying to tell you.
So they go looking around outside and they're like, oh, she must have wandered off. Damn it. But why would she help us?
Stupid droid. Yeah, now we're asking questions about her. And then Luke goes, oh man, we've been betrayed by droids before. Did this happen again?
So, 3PO is attempting to defend Ellie's honor, but Leia, ever the suspicious one, is like, well, then why did she lie to us? Why did she leave? None of this adds up.
Why was she working as an Imperial droid? None of this makes sense.
And good news, it never will.
Nope. And so Luke puts his poncho back on and goes, well, I'm going out there after those tapes.
Gotta get those tapes.
And so they end up going to this old castle on this still unnamed planet.
Still with 3PO. Okay, so at this point, they know that they're going into a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
They're looking for the last known coordinates of Tay Vanis and probably this missing droid, and they still drag 3PO with them.
They just seem to act like, well, we're a trio. We have to move together.
Yeah.
Even though, wouldn't it behoove them to have somebody maybe back on the Falcon should something touch off?
Yes!
I mean, they do that all the time. We're like, Chewie, you stay behind on the Falcon. That way, if we have to make a quick escape or contact someone or something.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to be trusting 3PO at the turbo lasers, but I'll trust him to just, like, home in on our position.
Yeah, or like I said, to send a message, or at least, like, get the thing started so they can take off quickly or something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, he could turn a key.
But anyway, 3PO, who apparently has not spent any time with Luke Skywalker in the last two movies, says, what is he doing, as Luke stands pensively near the edges of here, and Leia goes on to explain, like, shush, 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 he's using the Force, dummy.
Yeah. Don't you hang out with him all the time, 3PO? But once again, huge memory problems. It's canonical. Yeah. So so he's concentrating and he goes, all right, it's all clear. Let's run in there. And then you just get, there is so much idle chit chat of Imperial officers in this comic. And they're always talking like this, where they're just like, I can't believe they stationed me here. I want to be a lieutenant.
These two that we encounter here, though, are some of the most comically evil. Just like, we're going to talk about evil things as we stroll down the hallway. I don't think I killed enough civilians.
Man, I wish I had been here when they were wiping life from this planet.
I mean, we're joking, but it's honestly not that far away from that.
The other guy's like, oh yeah, it was great. They tried to fight back and hilariously failed.
God.
And Luke, once again, the Luke of this comic is so much more hot-headed, where he's just like, these sons of bitches.
Butchers.
God damn it, I'm gonna kill them all, I swear to God. It's like, Jesus, Luke.
So they're creeping up behind these officers. The officers split up, but not before saying how they wish they could kill more innocent people.
Yeah, man, I'd love to get my hands on some innocents.
What's this line here? After we'd wiped out the leaders and a few villagers, the survivors took up arms against us. Can you imagine? After that, we went on them on a large scale. And the other officer asked, how long did that take? And the first officer says, a long time considering how few there were to begin with. The vermin clung to life rather tenaciously. It was rather amusing.
They just refused to die. It was pretty funny.
And the second officer goes, well, sorry I missed it. Bye.
Yeah, that sounds like a real party. Anyway, I've got to go take a dump.
Which is precisely when he gets ambushed by Luke Skywalker and co.
Damn it. Who's there? And then I do like him immediately turning into a coward.
Yeah, I mean, look, these Imperial officers, when face down the barrel of a gun, will inevitably break.
Yeah. So they're just like, we're looking for Tay Vanis. He's like, oh, he's over there.
Right behind door number 1.
Yeah. And so they...
But then, what's this behind door number 1? Darth Vader!
God damn it. There's anything here. I should always be ready for a Vader hologram to show up. Hello, everyone. It's me.
He's like the voice during the tutorial of a video game that you can like step over this one square in the game and that makes this hologram pop up.
Yeah. Also, I just like the idea about like, hold my calls. I have 7 more holographic messages to record today. Oh God, I got to get through these.
But while Luke is distracted by this Darth Vader hologram, the Imperial officer steals Leia's gun. But then Leia steals Luke's gun and then shoots the Imperial officer in the face.
Yeah. I just like they did. They were all so stunned by this Darth Vader appearance. And then it's like, Leia, you're the stunned enough that Leia could just lose her gun, which is not great, man.
And the positioning on this makes zero sense.
Oh, no.
So
This is an example of they have to describe it in dialogue because it makes no sense if you look at it.
Because if you look at it, the first panel here on the left is Vader hologram appears. Behind the Vader hologram is the Imperial at the door. Luke is just in front of the hologram. And then like 5 steps behind Luke is Leia's head. We cut to the next panel, which is now the Imperial officer is standing directly in front of Leia, having grabbed her gun, and 3PO is also there. Then hard cut to Leia standing directly behind Luke, stealing his gun. And all of this happens in the course of like 2 seconds, I guess?
Yeah, it's very strange. And
anyway, Leia murders this man, and it's good.
Yeah. And so then Darth Vader's like, "Hello, everybody. Let me give you some exposition here."
All right, so Vader's gonna lay it down, street style.
Yeah.
By the power of the Force, I have foreseen that you will come, following the trail of the fellow rebel, the great Tay Vanis.
Yeah, even I have to give it up for my man Tay. Look, we may be on opposite sides, but game recognized game.
So this is a big Vader monologue here that is apparently a pre-record for Luke, assuming Luke shows up. Because only Luke has the skill and determination and training to find the trail that leads here.
He's like, hold on, take it again. I screwed that up. Wind it back. I can't keep it together. He's making faces.
I said he had the skill and deodorant to make it here? That's not right.
That's not right. Oh, come on. We can't put that in. We can cut all this, right? I want to meet the Imperial AV guys. Take 2 on Darth Vader's message about Tay Vanis.
Oh, Vader recording would be the worst, because, like, how do you do room tone for Vader?
Excuse me, Lord Vader, if you could just stop with the breathing there for a second. What you've got to do is actually just loop the breathing. The breathing is going to have to become the background noise, or else it's going to be...
There you go.
Yeah, I can't get room tone. The fucking scuba tank going off.
Yeah, but then we run into the issue in post where it's like, hold on, there's moments where he's talking and the breathing is underneath him talking. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, man. This is impossible. This job sucks. Don't say that, man. He strangled the last director to death. That's some great work there, Lord Vader. So anyway, he goes, why don't you open it up and see what you find here? He goes, now I bid you farewell.
Well, we can't skip over the fact that he explains here that he made this so convoluted and stupid just to waste Luke Skywalker's time.
Yeah. Ooh, I bet that really burned you up.
He says, you were kept very busy looking for a man I already possessed, and certain ambitious members of the Empire were kept equally busy and harmless at the same futile task.
It's almost as if this was a big story that had to waste a lot of time.
And what if that time wasting was all Darth Vader the whole time?
That's right. Yeah, this was all on purpose. Gotcha.
Suckers.
Yeah. Suck on that, Skywalker. Also, maybe I'm your dad. Because don't forget, that's still happening, but we can't acknowledge it just yet.
But now, I bid you farewell. But, so that your long weeks of searching will not have been in vain, I leave you, as a gift, the contents of this room. Accept them with my compliments, young Skywalker.
Yeah. See you later, son. Ooh, rub that in for a while, too. Chew on that.
Inside this room, we see a body splayed out on the floor, a vacant expression on his face.
Yeah.
One shoe missing for reasons I cannot explain.
He's not dead. He's like in a fugue state, kind of.
He has been broken, and all that is left of him is this, like, technically alive, vacant husk of a man, so broken by torture at the hands of Lord Vader that he's just staring empty into the void even after they open the door and find him. And it is Tay Vanis.
It's a little like, what?
Because, Luke says something about, like, getting him out of here, bringing him back to the fleet, and trying to get him medical help, but they're interrupted by, who's this coming in from behind? Why, it's Ellie, everyone's favorite droid.
I'd recognize the shimmy of those hips anywhere.
And she says, if you try to take him, then you will... if you try to take him with you when you flee, all of you will die. There are many Imperials on this little world, and they are already searching for you. You must be gone quickly.
Okay.
And then she says, just look at him. What's left of him? Do you think saving his life would be a kindness? This droid is implying that what's left of this man's life is so, like, broken and full of horror that it is merciful to leave him to die.
I don't know. I'm kind of going like, maybe if we get him some water and have him talk to a counselor, maybe we can get him back on. No. He's done. He's done. And in fact, the best thing to do is to just leave him for dead. Or, more insane, what's going to happen.
Yeah, because she says, he was a very great trouble to the Empire many times. Do you think Darth Vader left him alive as a kindness?
No, but I don't fully understand, once again, why this is a total lost cause. And or even the idea that we're just instantly like, oh no, he's gone forever.
But then Ellie opens up her chest and pulls out some tapes and hands them off to C-3PO.
I did think it was inappropriate that 3PO was like, ooh, baby, check out those wires. Anyway, and he just goes, yeah, forgive me for not identifying myself sooner, but I wasn't sure if you were the right rebels, but now that I know you are, here, take these. And then the quick just like, wait, but weren't you supposed to destroy these? And she's like, yeah, but I ignored that order. Wait, what? Okay, once again.
So, Ellie's line here is, I knew that help would come. He believed it would. And he was always right about such things. Thank you for making him right one last time. Now, please, leave me alone with him. And she descends and embraces the limp, broken body of Tay Vanis. Basically,
essentially dead for all intents and purposes, right?
I mean, he's like, Tay Vanis' body is alive, but nobody is home.
Right. And never will be. There's nothing they could do to bring him back.
According to this robot that appeared mysteriously.
Like, yeah, that makes sense. It's really fucked up.
Yeah, and again, like, why is this droid making this determination? Why did she override her own programming in order to, like, preserve these tapes other than just mere plot convenience? Why did she start working for the Empire when help didn't show up?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. It's all. This is another example of like, we just need this to end.
Yeah.
And so then, yes.
God, and it does, because the next page implies that she, like, detonates and kills them both.
Yeah, there's no setup to it. You don't see her activate. It's just they're looking, and then there's a bright white light that they're like, ugh. And then Luke is like, damn.
And then Murder Luke really kicks into high gear when he says, as he's like holding and comforting Leia, come on, let's find this castle's main power station before we go. They deserve some kind of monument.
If we have to lose Tay Vanis, they're losing 40 guys for him, you know? Like, And so yeah, they go out back into the rain and then just karoom as this whole place goes up.
So it's implied that they blow up this whole station, killing everyone inside because Tay Vanis deserves some kind of memorial in the form of mass murder.
Yeah.
Which, look, they're Imperials. Fuck them. But
oh no, no. It's just it's not my personal morality. It's just like that's especially Luke. By the time you're heading to Return of the Jedi, has become so much more Jedi Master, right?
Mm-hmm.
The idea that he's just like, I'm gonna fuck him up for this.
I mean, this is a Saw Gerrera move, right?
Yeah, it's a serious Saw Gerrera move where it's like this isn't even about the rebellion itself. Because wouldn't they, for the purposes of if you're just looking to help the rebellion, wouldn't it just behoove them to just get out of there with information because that's what's more important?
This is about tapes. That's the mission. Yeah,
personal vengeance at this point, and even Leia, I feel like wouldn't, as hardcore as she is, would see this as silly. Although it seems like it's very easy to blow this place up.
Sure, but it is a product of the fact that the importance of Tay Vanis is sort of like retroactively heightened in this issue in particular, to the point where it's like for the past 6 issues he's just been a name and a guy that like he's been a MacGuffin, basically just an object to chase.
Did we get any sense that they like knew him really well? I mean, they
only
knew
so
him.
far as that like he was part of the rebellion.
Sure, but there's a lot of people who are part of the rebellion.
Yeah, this is this whole thing was a oh my god, what's her name? Who ended up being the apprentice of Darth Vader? Yeah.
This is that all again, where all of a sudden she was the most important person to everyone in the rebel fleet, you know?
Yeah, but at least with her, we'd seen her like be an active participant and character in a story.
Actually seeded her a little bit before that. That is true.
Whereas Tay Vanis has never been on screen up until this issue.
Yeah, it is. Oh, God. It just, yeah. I like, in concept, I like the idea of the darkness that this story is trying to achieve, because they really want this very sort of bleak, somber ending, which I approve of, because I like that Star Wars stories occasionally really will play into, like, it is a war with consequences and cost. But it feels so unearned. This idea that, like, we were trying to find this guy and we couldn't save him, or he's already dead. But it's just so weird, the way they do it.
Well, and we end with Luke contacting Admiral Akbar. We get an Admiral Akbar name drop here.
Yeah!
And Akbar going, well, was it a trap? And Luke going, yeah, kinda.
Yeah. All I do all day, every day, is think about whether or not something is a trap.
Damn it, I'm right most of the time.
Yeah. Look, if you guess everything's a trap, sooner or later something will be.
But
that's my deal.
Luke reports back that there's no survivors, and the last panel we have here is tears in the rain as 3PO stares off into the distance, vacant expression. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Oh, those memories would be lost like tears in rain. Yeah, they're doing this thing where the rain is like making the tears on 3PO, kind of. So this like
sure.
Yeah, 3PO can't cry, but we've sort of found a way to make him. And then the pretentiousness of Finn. Yeah.
So yeah, that's issue number 80. Now, John.
Yes.
Would it surprise you to learn that this is not the last we see of Tay Vanis?
Would not. I'm ready for anything in this comic.
Okay. He's not going to reappear in this comic. I'll say that much.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. We have to get to the role play.
There is a legacy of Tay Vanis that will go forward in Star Wars.
His memory lived on forever!
And that is in no small part thanks to the work of a man we don't mention a lot on this show, but his legacy in Star Wars looms large, and will loom larger the farther we get into like the 90s.
We were talking about this beforehand. This is a name that will eventually come up, I think, a lot on the show.
Right, and that is Pablo Hidalgo.
Yeah. And if you're any kind of X-Men fan, you've probably come across this guy's name.
Yeah. He is known for a lot of Star Wars like technical writing, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you see those like visual dictionaries or ultimate guides, odds are he at least had a hand, if not is the main writer on most of those.
He is also involved in, now the Lucasfilm has a thing called the Story Group, which is this like lore connoisseurs that exist within Lucasfilm to help keep everything straight in terms of the story. And Pablo Hidalgo has been involved with that for decades at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing.
It hasn't existed in an official capacity until after the Disney takeover, but before that, there was sort of this loose council of folks that were helping guide the like overarching plots of like the New Jedi Order books, and like they helped organize stuff like Shadows of the Empire and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, basically I sort of see them as like if you're writing a Star Wars movie or TV show, it's like, I'd like to do this, I'm thinking this, and then go, oh, that already kind of was done, or that conflicts with this, or can we turn it this way? Just kind of keeping everything consistent so that people like us with podcasts aren't like, hey, wait a minute.
Right.
Excuse
me. The man is a walking Wikipedia.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's the thing about him, right? He is really the keeper of lore as opposed to necessarily like creator of content.
Yeah, he doesn't have much in the way of writing credits for Star Wars, but he is a consultant on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what he does have a writing credit on is a web series published through Hyperspace, which was like the Star Wars fan zone on the internet for a long time.
Has been mentioned here and there on this show, and
I'm sure it'll be mentioned more as we get deeper into the 90s, because that's sort of when it takes off. Or at least the like proto Hyperspace takes off. Hyperspace official doesn't really become a thing until the early 2000s, but anyway, his involvement in that space and in the online space I'm not going to say culminates, but like one of the highlights, at least for me as an early Star Wars fan, is he does this web series called Rookies. That's like a web comic, basically, that he writes and draws.
Right.
And it uses a lot of stuff that he also helped write from the West End games. And eventually that comic becomes kind of an adaptation of a West End games RPG module, which included a character named Agent Tyree, who is a rebel agent that is kind of a MacGuffin of sorts that the characters are chasing through these scenarios. And at a certain point, fans are like, wow, this guy sounds a lot like Tay Vanis from the old comics.
You know what I love, what I've discovered with this show, and why am I surprised? Because there's fans for anything. But I see you guys in the comments who comment below that are really into the continuity of this comic. And I appreciate that. There are people who really do have a lot of affinity for this comic, and I think that's great. Even if we're coming at it, with a, we want to like it.
But as Pablo Hidalgo is adapting these things and working the Agent Tyree things into the Rookies comic, eventually he sort of canonizes the fact that these are, in fact, the same character. And I believe eventually he is also involved in writing the, like, the character, like, what are those, like, the big guide to characters things that would come out every once in a while? That would eventually, like, list Tay Vanis as a character in that encyclopedia and have the, like, also known as Agent Tyree.
I see. Okay.
So, sure. Tay Vanis, gone, but not forgotten.
Nothing is ever really forgotten in Star Wars, right? Like, even if it hasn't. One of the things I do enjoy about Star Wars, and especially the current era, a lot of the Favreau and Filoni stuff in particular, they'll go back to like, hey, wasn't there an idea, or wasn't there a concept design that didn't get used, or something from a video game or something? And they'll be like, that's a cool idea. Let's roll that into a movie or show. I like that. That, like, nothing is ever really tossed away.
Right. And that you can repurpose these things. And, I mean, I think we've mostly seen this with, like, art and stuff. Like, old McQuarrie art that's, like, reused. And the concept art is reused in certain situations.
Absolutely.
But also, like, taking character concepts and stuff that was, like, cool in the abstract back in the old EU days, and repurposing them and combining them with other stuff to make it feel fresh and new.
You'd be foolish not to, right? I mean, that's what a treasure trove that makes your job easier as a writer. If there's, I want to do something like this. Oh, there's already a thing kind of like that I can sort of turn to fit in the story. That's great, man. I mean, that's kind of like,
you just say, you know what, Grand Admiral Thrawn is cool. Let's just do that.
Well, no notes. That guy couldn't be improved upon. He's one of the great villains in anything, in my opinion. But look, I love that guy. He's the best and the worst.
Can't wait for Ahsoka season 2, but that's just me.
Oh man, yeah. Which apparently is going to have Admiral Akbar in it, I've heard.
Interesting. Okay, I'm down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. We need more Akbar in our lives.
I'm assuming there will be a trap involved.
Yeah. Could this be? Might it be? Yes, it is a trap. There you go.
But yeah, that is it for our pre-Return of the Jedi coverage of this Marvel Star Wars comic. Up next, we'll start covering the Marvel adaptation of Return of the Jedi, and then we'll be back to this book in a post-Return of the Jedi story context. Whoa! Han Solo might even be back!
I should hope so. I am very curious for the post-Return of the Jedi stuff, because at that point, they really are freed in some ways, right? Like but I'm curious because I don't know that it was immediately known that Lucas wasn't going to make any more for a long time. He was kind of wishy-washy about like, oh, we'll see. I don't know if we're maybe gonna, who knows, So I'm curious, like how far they're going to take things post Return of the Jedi.
How do you feel about Zeltrons, John?
Oh Christ! Of course. God damn it, the Zeltrons, man. I don't like them.
And if you two don't like Zeltrons, where can they go to support us?
Oh yeah, you could, yeah. With our firm pro-Both and anti-Zeltron stands. You can head over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/punchupent. That's punchupent. Get cool exclusive bonus content, as well as I don't mention this enough. You also get early episodes of this show and a ton of early episodes of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. If you're a fan of that podcast,
years ahead on that.
Yeah, because that started as a patron show, and then we ended up releasing it for free. But the free version of the show is like 3 years behind what we've recorded. We're almost done with Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters on the Patreon, like the whole show. We're almost to modern day. So, it's pretty wild. So
please tell me it's ending with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
That is our ending of the official show. We will check back in if something we feel is worth discussing. But from there on, it will become, as we've talked about, Campbell and Jones Meet the Slashers. But we will come back and do Meet the Monsters if someone's doing a new Dracula adaptation or something like that. But yes, our
like
last
Luc Besson?
We will be covering. Of course, we have to talk about. How can we not talk about a Luc Besson Dracula, or whatever Maggie Gyllenhaal's doing with the Bride of Frankenstein movie? It looks fucking insane. But the last official episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters will be Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Yes. Yeah. Let's go out on a high. I can only assume. I haven't seen it.
The first few reviews have begun trickling out of people who've seen it preemptively, and I'm hearing good things.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if he somehow dropped the ball on that, because that's his great passion project. But anyway, if you want to hear us talk about modern monster movies, head over to, like I said, patreon.com/punchup and punchupent. And there's lots more content from that. I'm just trying to spotlight the different things we have on there. So
sure. And if you want to hang around and play catch up with Meet the Monsters, you can do it over on YouTube too. YouTube.com/@punchupentertainment. While you're there, you can of course listen to watch all of our shows, including this one. You can read the comic along with us. What?
Yeah, that's the best way to watch this show, no question.
I think so. Not only for the visuals of the comics medium, but also our gorgeous Tay Vanis-like faces gracing your screen.
We look just as much like generic guys as Tay Vanis.
We are, in fact, the medium-most dude you possibly could have.
I love when you finally see Tay Vanis just like, Well, that's a guy. Sure.
But while you're
so
there,
check-
please like,
Yeah.
comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below. Who's your favorite weird character that never actually appears in a Star Wars comic, but is constantly named in a Star Wars comic? Because mine's Tay Vanis, and you can't tell me otherwise.
All right. Well, Gorgani, is that going to do it for us?
Yes, in fact, it will. Because as always, I have been Mike Ergoni.
I'm John Campbell.
And remember, may the panel be with you.